Hello again, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe Toon Love, here with your weekly review for AEW Rampage. This time for May 13, 2022. Another episode of Rampage at a different time slot. 5:30, 3:30 Eastern, depending where you are. But nonetheless, these weirdly timed episodes of Rampage. I get we're in this season for my sports fans out there. We're in the season of NHL and NBA playoffs. So obviously on TNT, they're going to be on some weird time slots, but you know, AEW Rampage, you know, it's a weird feel. It's a weird feel already, but being able to record it because and then once I got home I was able to watch it. That's good, but kind of wish it was on a different day or a different time slot, but nonetheless Rampage was a good watch. Nothing too spectacular. We got Death Triangle's reunion. Hopefully they stay tight, as in Phoenix doesn't get injured again, or Pac manages to stay due to travel, not having to leave due to travel issues. But a quarterfinal match between the women, Riho and Ruby Soho. Decent match. You know, we got a change in the Owen Hart Cup women's tournament. So it was announced on tonight's show that, or depending where you see it, on Rampage, that Hikaru Shida got injured during the street fight, the Philadelphia street fight for Serena Deeb, and she will not be able to participate in the tournament against Red Velvet. So instead, they announced that Chris Statlander will take the place of Hikaru Shida, and she'll face Red Velvet next week on Rampage in the quarterfinal match for the Owen Hart Cup. Now, Chris Statlander, we know, has been going on a semi-gimmick change, and we have not seen her in a number of weeks. Of course, things have quite, things have taken quite a bit of a turn the last couple weeks because she debuted her new look in the matchup between Layla Hirsch and Red Velvet. And obviously, Red Velvet is now a heel with the baddies, affiliated with Jade Cargill, and Layla Hirsch is on the shelf. She's hurt, which I forgot her injury, but it's quite an interesting turn for the tournament because we have not seen Chris Statlander on TV in quite a while. But good for her. She deserves it. It's an interesting storyline going in this match with Red Velvet and how pan out, we shall see. But nonetheless, thank you for joining me. If you're new to these videos, my pro wrestling reviews, and if you want to see more, 2 seconds, click the description in the corner, take you to the homepage, find more videos, help out the channel, do what it does. But thank you all. Let's get into it. So, that Triangle, they opened the show, and you can pretty much tell, as always, 9 times out of 10, how do you know it's taped? In the first 20 seconds, Excalibur is bringing so fast, and they cut to the action, which sometimes it's good, sometimes not, but it's one of those little things. So, but this match, wasn't a long match. It was kind of short, kind of not really much to it. Butcher and Blade, Marq, Quen, they said pretty much no chance. And, I like Butcher and Blade, but that Triangle's reunion match, I've been off for a while. Pretty much it. Pac was flying to the outside. Lucha Bros took care of business. Fear Factor by Death Triangle, followed the Black Arrow by Pac for the win. Easy going. The match, now afterwards, the lights went out. The House of Black appeared on the ropes and the apron. And lights went out again, and they disappeared. So clearly, they're continuing this feud between the House of Black and Death Triangle. Now, again, like I mentioned earlier, hopefully, because I feel it was kind of the reason we also didn't see much of the House of Black, as Phoenix was healing his injury and Pac was obviously not able to be there due to travel issues. But hopefully, now that Phoenix is healthy and Pac is back, they can continue this feud. Maybe a trios match at Double or Nothing, in which House of Black needs a win, and which I'd be all for it. Maybe the buy-in, but either way, it would work for me. Plus, Phoenix is facing Kyle O'Reilly, which should be a good match on Wildcard Wednesday in the Owen Hart Cup quarterfinal matchup. Do we see House of Black make an appearance? Maybe Buddy Matthews, and cost Phoenix? It's a possibility. It depends who the Joker is. I think that, it's weird because Miro or Claudio, aka Cesaro, I would deem as likely to be the Joker to face Samoa Joe on Wildcard Wednesday. And perhaps Jay Lethal and crew screwed Samoa Joe out of his opportunity, and that's how they set up the match with Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe at Double or Nothing. I'm not sure if they could, but 2 screwy finishes and on Wildcard Wednesday, I'm not sure, but we'll see. Either way, I'm looking forward to the match between Phoenix and O'Reilly. It's a fresh matchup, to say the least. So we got Shawn Spears, the chairman, or what he's now called the Giant Killer, according to him, who has one of the best entrances, I would say, currently in pro wrestling. Versus Bear Boulder of Bear Country. This, again, was short, but was sweet. You know, Shawn Spears, the henchman of MJF, is going to face Wardlow in a steel cage match in a week from, almost 2 weeks, a week from Wednesday. And that will set up the, well, it's an interesting dynamic with the stipulations MJF put in the contract. But either way, Shawn Spears needed a win getting in this match, and he did. Impressive feat, I would say, for Shawn Spears, because Boulder, he was throwing him up around the ring a bit, and then he got a lukewarm reaction from the crowd, but Shawn Spears managed to lift Boulder, who's, they say, is like 329, over 300 pounds, on his shoulders, and deliver the C4 death driver on Boulder for the win. There was that. Then he took his chair and did more damage to Boulder. Hit some shots in the back, leaving a message to Wardlow. Well, first Wardlow has to get through his 10 lashes from MJF on Wednesday, and then the steel cage match. So, yeah, they're very similar to what Cody had to go through to get to MJF. So, I'm curious how they put a spin, really, on these stipulations to get to the match. We'll see, though. We'll see. So, Tony Nese and Mark Sterling, they were backstage with Lexi there. Mark Sterling was clearly in discomfort. He was wearing a neck brace and had a crutch. He talked about that he's in no shape to compete at Double or Nothing. He doesn't even have gear. And said that the match is not going to happen. He's not going to wrestle at Double or Nothing. Tony said, that's fine, that's fine. You know, you rest, and I took care of Danhausen at record time on Dynamite. So him versus Hook will be no problem. And he told Mark Sterling, when they get to Vegas, put $10,000 on them. So there's that. You know, should be a nice little doozy. Nice little doozy of a match to get the crowd pumped, and who knows. Riho versus Ruby Soho. This match, decent of a match. I would say Riho's match versus Yuka Sakazaki last week kind of woke me up, as in it was a very good, hard fought match. So my expectations were more up. I mean, Riho is good in the division, but some of the things are not that believable. Sometimes in her matches, it just is. But her in this match with Soho, which great to see Ruby back on TV again as well. It was an okay match between the two. It's funny, Riho did not like Ruby Soho's entrance music. She so Riho was in the ring, and then when Soho got in the ring, Riho had her fingers in her ears and was shaking her head like not her cup of tea. Not rancid. Not rancid. Oh well. It's not for everybody. Although I think it's a good song. So, like I said, this match was okay. They were exchanging back and forth. Riho rolled through, hit a diving foot stomp, or a foot stomp on Soho. Soho actually managed to pop out of the corner and use her knees to thrust Riho's face in the middle turnbuckle for near fall. Riho, a diving crossbody rolled through by Soho for 2. Riho hit a crucifix bomb. Good spot there. And then Soho planted Riho on her head, hit a backdrop driver, and then hit a kick after Riho kicked out for another near fall, showing tenacity. But then Ruby finally put Riho away with the Blade Runner for the win. Ruby Soho advances to face the winner of Chris Statlander versus Red Velvet. Now, in the TBS style tournament, Chris Statlander and Ruby Soho had one hell of a match. One hell of a match, arguably the match of the tournament. And I like both, but clearly they're trying to push the baddies and Red Velvet. So I can see it going either way, but either way it should be a good match. But good for Ruby, and she moves on in the Owen Hart Cup. I would kind of like her to go. I mean, I could totally see any one of the women left winning it. Totally. I mean, well, Ruby, we know for a start, debuting that Battle Royal, winning it, and then losing to Britt Baker in last year's Grand Slam, and then losing the TBS South tournament to Jay Cargo. It's kind of been up and down for Ruby, so we'll see. We'll see. Excuse me. So we got the Gun Club and the Acclaimed backstage. They were Billy. He was trying to get ideas from both parties about monikers, phrases, catchphrases, just trying to make the group stand out. I love the Acclaimed, and I like the Gun Club. They're obviously young and bred for the future, but I'm just not really that into it because we know how good the Acclaimed are, and we know the Gun Club still has room to grow, so I'm not sure. Jade Cargill and the Baddies. They were out there. They were introduced by Tony Schiavone. And also Mark Sterling, despite wearing a neck brace and down with a crutch, he still was there. We see much more of Mark Sterling. I guess he's making good use of himself for his managerial skills. Because he's got Jade, he's got Tony Nese, and he's the lawyer for MJF, so does well for himself is Mark Sterling. So Jade was out there. She told Tony to cut the shit. Jade is definitely coming to her own week by week. And, Kiera Hogan and Red Velvet, they do well as being the second hands for Jade and this group. She asks what happened to Mark Sterling. Sterling took the microphone and said, I'm grateful that you asked that. And then she took the mic back, introduced her baddie section. So there was that. Sterling proposed the idea that since Hikaru Shida is not cleared to compete for the Owen Hart Cup tournament, she said that Red Velvet should advance by forfeit. And Tony Schiavone said, well, that's not going to happen. He said that Red Velvet's new opponent next week on Rampage will be one of Velvet's close friends. Chris Statlander is music in it, and now it's Chris Statlander and yeah, it's good to see Chris Statlander back on TV. It's been a while. Main event: Scorpio Sky versus Frankie Kazarian for the TNT Championship. The TNT title, this match was a pretty damn good match. However, I'll say again, with the TNT Championship, there are a number of guys that, with the TNT title, could definitely do more of it and make it seem a bit more prestigious like it was. Andrade, Lance Archer, just to name a couple, could definitely do more with this title. And it's kind of in a difficult place. So, but this match is good. Obviously, former tag team champions, the inaugural tag team champions of AEW. Sky and Tope Con Hero on the outside. Both were worse for wear. Back in ring. Kaz hit a springboard, almost like a helo, into a Oklahoma roll for a near fall. Sky went for a TKO, but Kaz also countered that into a cradle for a 2-foot count. Kaz then really got his offense in. He hit a springboard leg drop for a 2 count. Then Sky was on the apron, and then Frankie caught him in midair with a springboard or a slingshot cutter for a nice near fall that kind of woke the crowd up. Frankie was going for the crossface chicken wing, which apparently he's been going for a lot more these days. So, before the match, Sky asks Dan Lambert and Ethan Page to take the night off. Of course, we knew they weren't. So, said it was going to be 1-on-1. So, Frankie was looking on the cross-stage chicken wing. And then out came Dan Lambert down the ringside. He distracts the referee on the apron. Ethan Page from behind. So, Kaz is on Sky's back with the chicken wing. And Page blindsides Frankie in the back, knocking him over while the referee did not see. And then Sky just instinctively rolled up Kazarian for a near fall. And then all of a sudden, Sky hits the TKO. 1, 2, 3. Scorpio Sky retains as Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti at ringside with they're apparently a AAA mixed tag team champions. They have their belts with them at ringside. Match is good, afterwards. So, Sky was getting into it with Ethan Page as he did not fall, at least on screen, according to Scorpio Sky's orders. So Page asked Sky, which side are you on? Which team are you on? So Sky just wipes out Frankie with the TNT title. There's beatdown going on. Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti, they come out and into the ring and chase off Man of the Year Dan Lambert, and Sammy Guevara is posing with TNT Title. They gotta do something different with the TNT title. I mean, it's just not working. I mean, I said before, I say again, the direction. I mean, it seemed like it was going to be one way, where with Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti are making the Man of the Year and Dan Lambert babyface because of how much people dislike Guevara and Ty Conti. Sounded like I started to think maybe with what happened at the end of the match that okay, maybe they're gonna roll with this and Scorpio Sky is gonna rejoin Frankie Kazarian and he's gonna embrace this babyface kind of thing. And then he blinds and then he attacks Frankie and then Lambert calls out Sammy and Ty. They show the ring and it's like that's not the case. So they're still playing the portrait or portraying the picture of Sky is the heel and Sammy's like the nonchalant babyface. Reality is the same, unless Sammy just embraces and becomes a full heel. But then that dynamic it just doesn't work for both parties because it's just gotta do better. Gotta do better with the TNT title situation. You know, Sammy Guevara. I'll say it again. I like Sammy as a wrestler and him by himself. And Ty is good. And I like her improvement. But them on screen together is not working. And it's not going to work for everyone else unless they pulled the plug or they flipped the switch. And yeah, but nonetheless, that's the Rampage review for you guys. Got a pretty stacked again edition of AEW Dynamite come on Wednesday. We got the Joker matches, quarterfinals for both the men and the women. I'm predicting Cesaro or Miro and Athena for the Jokers. We got face-to-face confrontation between William Regal and Chris Jericho. We got Hangman Page versus Konosuke Takeshita. Should be a good match. We saw how good Takeshita worked with Lethal. So, I mean, against Hangman, it's going to be good. Got the 10 lashings, MJF, and Wardlow. So is that, but some good, very good lineup for Dynamite on Wednesday. I did not see what they have for Rampage next week, although, of course, we got Chris Statlander versus Red Velvet, Should be a nice little match. Have more to come. But nonetheless, that's a review for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, click that like, leave a thumbs up. Subscription is there if you want to see more videos. But thank you all. Be safe. See you guys next week. Adios. I'm AJ2 in Love. Peace.